Welcome to Carscenekorea. I have in front of me long-awaited G80. Starting with 2.5 gasoline, there's a 3.5 gasoline turbo as well, and 2.2 liters diesel model. Unfortunately, it's very unlikely that US will be getting the diesel model, as it's been the case with the GV80 and most of the Hyundai and Kia and Genesis cars. So the model I have in front of me is 3.5 gasoline turbo, pushing about 380 horsepower. That's 390 pound-feet of torque and 9.2 kilometers per liter, 21.6 mpg. This is a fully changed model in 4 years. From a typical sedan look, which is the first generation G80, this 2021 G80 came in this fastback design, which is very obvious on this C-quarter panel and C-pillar. This G80, the first generation, is what started it all, as we know. But Genesis has come around a long way from its first generation to G70, as well as G90 or EQ900 and GV80. And come this G80 2021, Genesis has completed their family look, which is the quad lamps. There's two horizontal lines that runs all around Genesis. Rear and the fender, the side repeaters, and most definitely the front look and front grille. This crest stands out, very distinctive, not just for this G80 alone, but from the other cars. This tip of the crest over here used to be very sharp and edgy on GV80, but as you can see, it's been very curved, giving more smooth look overall for this G80. And also, the tip of this crest comes a little further down from the top. G80 has gotten wider by 35 millimeters to the left and right, and also 15 millimeters shorter from ground up. Mirror used to be on the A-pillar, but now it's on a door, so it provides more room over here, and Genesis has made it into a quarter glass. And we've seen this on a GV80, but they also carried it down to G80. This is a big help in dissolving and getting rid of the blind spots. This over fender, it's not that obvious with the front one, but follow me. If we look at the rear fender over here, it certainly is wider and over fendered. Rear light of G80, it's got more delicate design than GV80. It's got a little more details and design cue inside out. And you may wonder how to open up a trunk. It's right over here, but before I do that, this design over here, the chrome, it actually resembles the emblem of Genesis. The crest is still here, and this chrome to the left and right looks like the wings of the Genesis emblem. And seems like Genesis has gone through a meticulous process as to where to put the button for the trunk, and that is, they decided to make the emblem into a trunk switch, put the camera right there where it's most functional, and also this now is the button for the trunk. Just gently press it. And honestly, G80 does not have the largest trunk in its segment. And well, if you're looking for a big, large compartment for the trunk space, you're probably better off going with the front wheel drivers. But Genesis, being this G80 being a rear wheel based all-wheel drive, there's a lot of stuff on the rear, so that there's a little hump for suspensions and differentials and whatnot. So you have to sacrifice some of the trunk space here, but it's slightly less than that of a Sonata, or maybe approximately the same. I know for certain it's a slightly less than Grandeur or Azera for North American market. As for the wheels, this is the 20-inch rim, the brand identity of Genesis wheels and rims right here, and it's got the 4-piston brake on the front with Genesis gently written, engraved over there. Not engraved, but painted, gently written there. And other trims, lower trims, they come in 2 pistons without the Genesis embedded there. As for the size of the front tires, it's 245 40 20 on the front, and as for the rear, it's 275 35 20. So that's a staggered setup, and that actually says something about this G80, because a staggered setup, we usually see that on a rear-wheel drive car, and especially on a sports car. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but the fact is G80 has staggered setup, smaller tires on the front and bigger one on the rear. And as for the performance, most of the heavy parts and components of the car has been made out of aluminum, such as the bonnet or the hood is made out of aluminum, including the door panels, both front and back, and also the trunk is made out of aluminum. Other than that, the parts that need some more of a rigidness, such as the pillars, the fenders, they're made of steel. But again, just from the engine bay alone, G80 has reduced 50 kilos. They have paid a lot of attention to coolings. So you look on the size of the radiator, this is far bigger than the conventional ones that they've been using. And also, instead of air cooled, it's water cooled. And overall, this Genesis has lost its weight by 125 kilograms. And if you look over here, I love this little technique that Genesis has implemented. So if you follow through this roof line over here, it actually gets wider towards the end. So it looks like it's a fastback, and of course it tries to resemble it. I mean, it is a fastback design, but unlike CLS or traditional fastback design, the headroom is actually saved up until this point. So I'm going to show you in a bit, but there's a lot of headroom inside the car, so not much is sacrificed, and it's quite cozy, and most people can fit in the second row no problem.